All right, here with Paul Condry, founder and president of RRSN and Primetime Productions. Paul, talk about how this book, the crowning achievement of Penn football, came about, just the ideas from the start to where we are now.
Well, I think the idea really kind of came out of a windfall after the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. I ran into some longtime Blackhawk friends, and we saw this wonderful book that the Blackhawks had put together after they won Lord Stanley's Cup in 2010. It was just a really neat situation. So I thought, we ought to be able to do something like this. Well, so talking with some of my friends back home, where I grew up in Hobart, Indiana. Of course, the Penn folks will remember two classic games between the Rickeys and the Kingsmen, two longtime friendships between those two coaching staffs. And so we put together this book called Once a Rickey, Always a Rickey. So this book became a reality project. We did our first documentary film and with this book in conjunction with our team, and then next thing you know is we're off to LaPorte. We spent some time with at Gilliland, who's a member of the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the AD there. So that one went off with a lot of success. So the next thing was just really kind of a no-brainer, since regional radio sports has been the voice of Penn football for nearly 25 years now. I thought that this would be a great opportunity to share the incredible story that is Penn and that is Penn football. So I think that's kind of the vision. With a couple books under our belt, I think our staff has gotten better at writing, producing, as always in any type of project. And the magnitude of this thing, it's a rather lengthy process of going back and doing a lot of microfilm work and doing a lot of extra legwork. The staff does a wonderful job of just putting it together, and our team of writers are just amazing. Guys like Dwayne Lewandowski, Matt Copsey, our senior editor, has been spectacular in the work that we've done. A wonderful design team. I'll tell you what, really the heroes of this is the people who are doing the legwork behind the scenes. JP Jobert, who's been wonderful in regards to putting together a wonderful idea on how we go about put the information in there. So it's been really neat to see this thing come to fruition. Excited about the opportunity that we've had to tell the story of Penn football and really the Penn community, because it's going to go back to the beginning of the high school. So to be able to partnership with Penn Harris Madison, a special thanks to Dr. Jerry Thacker for the vision to be able to see a project together like this and see its potential, because I think just like this book has been over the course, we had great expectations. And if you were to ask me one thing that I would say is defining about Penn, we talked about the Penn way. It's about expectations. Our expectations for this project, the book and the film, is something that I think that hopefully all the Penn faithful and football fans out there will hold dear to their hearts as much as it's been holding dear to our hearts as we've gone through production.
Talk about what have been some of the challenges, but also some of the enjoyment that you and the company gets out of producing not just the two previous books, but especially this one as well.
Well, I think going back and spending time with the coaches and the student athletes, many of them who we've been friends with for years, certainly student athletes who we've covered, that's been awesome to see that kind of play itself out. But Chris Giesman, who's been a part of our regional radio sports broadcast teams really since he stepped out of the coaching vein, if you will, has been amazing. He's been one of my best friends. I've learned so much over the course of my business career by just listening and watching the way he conducts his affairs, not only how he brought his coaching staff together, how he empowers his coaching staff. And I take a lot of the same business principles that I've learned from him and from other previous coaches who I've been around, like Don Howell, the legendary Hobart football coach, and Tom Kerr, who I learned a great deal from as when I was a knee-high to a grasshopper, as well as the opportunities I had a chance to do the sports back home for many, many years. So those are some of the things that it's been awesome to be able to get together and laugh and cut up, get serious at times, but to go back and spent time with him and with Chris and with Cory OBrien. Cory is just such a high energy guy. I just love his passion. I love his attention to details. This is very, very apparent that the apple didn't fall too far from the coaching tree when you look at what Cory's done after Chris really kind of laid the groundwork for what I think has been decades of excellence.
Final question. When a high school student or, you know, maybe a current student who's now coaching, say 50 years down the road, picks up this book or watches the documentary, before they even open the book or open the case of the documentary, what do you hope that they learn about not just Penn football now, but the history of Penn football as well?
Well, I think just as in anything, it's about the journey. It's about the process of going from point A to point B. And I think that if you look at all of the great athletic programs and all the great things over years past, there's a natural progression on as things kind of matured or as they've kind of grown through things. And I think, I hope that we're going to be able to capture the early stages of Penn as a school, as a community, and we're going to see that thing grow. We're also going to see what I think has been a very, very unique dynamic between the superintendents on how they were able to create an environment and an expectation level that still continues to this day. And of course, there's some great football stuff there's in this book, as well as some great stories told by coaches, former coaches, opponents. I'm excited about that segment. We'll have some great pages in there about memorabilia. And then, of course, I think the neat concept of this is going to be able to go back and look at the timetables that will be on each page. So if you go back and look at what's going on in 1995, this is what happened in Penn, Harris, Madison communities locally. I mean, what was the price of gas? What was the price of bread in 1995? As we're in 2017 here and in 2018, respective, we know what the prices are, but as we need to know what the opening movie was on football night. So we're hoping to be able to bring a historical perspective back to any age group of fans and players, and just, you know, people who want to be involved in the history of the community. And we're hoping we're going to be able to capture that dynamic.
We can't wait to read the book and watch the documentary. Paul, you guys do some fantastic work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.